So I did a thing today and signed up for a herd share here in Michigan. Now that we have moved to this rural area in Michigan, I have been on the hunt for lots of different local farmers to get all of our food from, or at least as much of it as possible. And that way we can support local, we can get lots of good nutrient dense food, and also looking for all the organic options to avoid pesticides and genetically modified products. So today I signed up for a herd share to get raw milk on a weekly basis. And I haven't tried it yet. It is a little bit more expensive, but I know that it is going to be definitely more beneficial for our health and for our family long term. Hey, it's Katie Fiola Jones here. This is one of our first videos here on the Crunchy Stewardship YouTube channel. If you're new to Crunchy Stewardship, we have a podcast, and by we, I mean my cousin Chrissy and I have a podcast where we talk about all the crunchy stuff out there, how to live a more natural, non-toxic lifestyle, to really honor God with our bodies and to, just be healthier altogether. But doing a lot of the crunchy stuff tends to be a little bit more expensive. And so the reason why we call ourselves Crunchy Stewardship is because we are trying to do this in the most kind of steward-like way. We don't want to waste all of our resources that God has given us on diving all in and getting everything and squandering away those resources and just doing it like really mindfully. So there's definitely a time and a place to spend your money and invest your money in something that is going to keep you healthier long term. But making those decisions should be personal between you and God in what you decide to spend that money on. And one of those things that I have now decided to invest in our family, in our health, is raw milk. Raw milk tends to be more expensive than pasteurized milk, even the organic pasteurized milk. Oftentimes, a lot of the healthier options, so like organic produce and organic grass-fed meats, things like that, they tend to be more expensive. And oftentimes it's because they're healthier. They're better for you. They have a lot more benefit. They're filled with better nutrients and vitamins and trace minerals. And so when you invest in these things, it's really good for your body. So it's different all across the country what your prices are going to be. But here in rural northern Michigan, our buy-in fee for the herd share is $150. That's actually on the more expensive side that I have found in the area. There were some that had like a $30 buy-in fee, a $45, a $30. But what changes is that the monthly boarding fee is actually really low and very affordable versus like other places it's a little bit more expensive. And so the boarding fee we get 1 gallon of milk per week is $32. And then if we want to buy any extra gallons, it's only $8 a gallon. Now, I have heard in other states that raw milk can be as expensive as like $10 for a half gallon. I actually found that on a Facebook group where I was like kind of reading through. People were all posting their raw milk prices, and like over in California it was like $12 for a half gallon or something, and I was like, whoa, because even though this is more expensive than just your pasteurized grocery store milk, it is not the most expensive raw milk out there. And so definitely is a plus for being in a really cow saturated area. There's a lot of cows around here. There's a lot of dairy farms actually, which is really cool. And I love that. And it's really fun to kind of drive around and get to see the cows. Now, we actually toured this farm, which was super fun. We got to see them milking the cows. They gave us a little tour around the grounds and talked to us about their cleaning process and everything. So it was really great to get to see that. They also sell a bunch of other things like butter, kefir, yogurt. They do like skim the milk if you don't want all the full fat, but even when they skim the milk, they said it's usually still about like a 4 to 10% ratio of fat. When you go to the grocery store and you have like 2% or 1%, well, it's like a 4 to 10% even when they like skim it. It's like skimmed milk, so it's not necessarily skim milk, but it's skimmed. And so they gave me like a price sheet here for all of it. We did buy butter and vanilla yogurt. And so we've got those that we're gonna try today. Before we get started, be sure to like this video if you find it interesting and subscribe to our channel. We plan to put out some more YouTube videos here. But if you haven't already subscribed to our podcast or checked it out, definitely go and look for that. I'll keep links in the description box below, but you can find us anywhere that you listen to podcasts, just looking up Crunchy Stewardship. Malachi and I went this morning to go pick it up, and we got some raw milk and we got some yogurt and butter made from raw milk from a local Amish farm, and I'm nervous to try it, but we're gonna do it. Let me go get it. So this is the raw milk. We signed up to get a gallon of milk a week, and so this is actually just a half gallon right here. Comes in this nice glass jar. It's about 20 minutes away from me, and Thursday mornings will be my pickup day. Malachi and I will drive down there together and pick it up. Today was raining and I left him in the car while I was doing it, but I had to like sign all the paperwork because basically a herd share itself is like buying in to own a part of the cow and to help, keep the cow. And so in essence, I kind of own a small percentage of a cow right now. And so you pay like a one-time buy-in fee to like kind of quote unquote purchase the cow, except they already have them. So it's not like they're buying new cows, at least right now. And then you pay a monthly boarding fee. And so that's kind of like your membership fee and like what you pay monthly, but it goes to feeding the cows and keeping the cows and all that kind of stuff. And basically when you do that, you get a percentage of the milk. I actually have cool mason jars that have like pouring lids that I actually used for breast milk. When I was breastfeeding, I actually just stopped breastfeeding only a couple months ago. But when I was breastfeeding, I made like an oversupply of breast milk. So I was exclusively pumping, and while I was doing that, I would make so much extra that we would keep a jar of it in the refrigerator that actually looked very similar to this, which is kind of funny. And then there's like a top that you can put on it that had like a pour lid. So I'm actually going to grab that and use that for these jars. These jars were provided by our farmer, which is really nice because I know in some cases the herd shares want you to, like the farmers want you to provide your own jars, or you have to pay a fee to like rent or buy the jars from them. Pause for a second. My biscuits are done. These biscuits look so good. This is the first thing like baked good that I'm actually making in the oven here in our temporary place. And I thought biscuits would go really well with our milk and with the butter especially, because I want to put some butter on it to melt on top. But I'm going to put this down, Julie. So anyway, I'm going to grab the lid for the top of this. Scratch that. I don't actually know where it is. I swear I saw it. So it's around here somewhere. Wes probably just put it somewhere, but I'm going to show you. So this is the jar. This actually has vinegar in it right now. It was the way that I transported our extra vinegar that we had like a giant thing of from Colorado here to Michigan. But you can see like it's really noisy. They are about the same size. It looks different because of the color, but I think this will work, but I'm not gonna try this on here because I don't wanna contaminate the jar. So I have another lid like this that is greenish blue. And when I was breastfeeding, I separated my night milk from my day milk. There are reasons for that, but I separated them so I had two different color jars. But basically it would be like this, and you just pop the lid open and you can pour it easily instead of pouring from a really wide mouth jar. So I think that's going to work really well. I took another look around. I found a small one actually, and maybe that's what I was thinking about, but I swear I saw my like green lid. But I am going to actually purchase some more on Amazon. I'll add a link to the ones that I am getting that I think will work really well for this. But we're going to do our best, like the best job possible in pouring this. I've already kind of stirred it up. So typically with raw milk, the fat and the cream kind of like separate and will float, it'll come up to the top as it's being chilled in the fridge. And so when you bring it out, typically each time you kind of have to give it a good shake so that it's all mixed in when you drink it. I've learned that you can like skim the fat and cream off the top, and then you can make like heavy whipping cream or half and half, or that's like what you make cheeses with. So I think along the lines, I'll probably test that out, and because it's a lot of milk. And yeah, so I'm gonna get a cup and we're gonna try and pour this. Yep. So while we're in our temporary spot, we don't have as many of our glass jars, and the plastic ones are really hard to see through, and I really want to like actually see it. So we're gonna grab this like stemless wine glass that was here. It's not even mine. Okay, it's screwed on really tight. Okay. It doesn't really have any smell to it. Okay, this is gonna get messy. Let me grab paper towels. I don't have as many of my like rags and things because we used a lot of our rags and stuff to like pad our dishes and things in that are like packed away. So we've been using a lot more paper towels lately, and I don't love that, but it is what it is. Okay, here we go. I did really well until the end there. Screw that back up, clean it off. I think I'm gonna go put this right back in the fridge. Oh, it tastes really good. Tastes like milk. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of tastes like whole milk, like just regular. I feel like it does kind of have like a creamier texture to it, definitely, because obviously like all the fat is in here. Now, I've read in Facebook groups and stuff from people who have gotten onto raw milk the first time that they went and like chugged a big glass of it. Not chugged, maybe they just drank through a full glass of milk, and then like that night or like the next day or something, their stomach was like all upset. And so I've read from people that they kind of recommend maybe just doing like a shot of it or just like a small glass of it to start with, and let your body kind of get used to the different bacterias, because pasteurization of milk is they basically heat up the milk and then it kills off like all the bacteria in it, good and bad bacteria. And so raw milk basically skips that whole process. It's just fresh, straight from a cow, basically. I mean, not straight from a cow, because then it would be hot. It would be hot milk, but it's chilled, obviously, instead of being hot. And so it has both good and bad bacteria, technically. And so you want your body to kind of get used to this new form of bacteria that it hasn't really had before, because you've been drinking pasteurized milk. And so I've always had pasteurized milk. In fact, I grew up kind of more on skim milk. And then in the last few years, I guess more even in just like the last maybe it's been about a year that we've been drinking like whole milk now. And it's so much better. My gosh, now drinking skim milk, it literally tastes and looks like water. And it's really gross to me. So yeah, we've been drinking whole milk, and so I'm hoping that my body won't respond too poorly to it, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, it's not bad. Just tastes like milk, I guess. I've been learning lots and lots of benefits about raw milk, and that's kind of why we're doing this, especially for Malachi. I think I'm going to wait a day or two to actually give him the raw milk, just to see how my body responds. And I mean, in essence, raw milk is supposed to be easier for your body to digest, because when they go through the process of pasteurization, they take out all the good bacteria, they take out a lot of the fat as well, and your body needs like that fat and some of those bacteria in order to actually digest milk properly. And so typically when you have a lactose intolerance, it's because your body is responding to the lactose, like the sugars in the milk, poorly. And it's like, and so I did develop a lactose intolerance when I was around like 23, I think it was 24. It was like right after college sometime when I would have cereal, and my body the rest of the day would be just like that churning feeling in your stomach. And so I switched to a lactose-free milk for a long time and did that. And then when I kind of learned more about the digestive process of milk, I switched to an organic, grass-fed whole milk, and I didn't have any problems with it. And so I was like, okay, if just that switch alone makes it easier for me to digest the milk, what would raw milk do in general? And not only that, but what about all the good bacterias and the protein and all the awesome stuff in raw milk? What are we missing out by having this pasteurized milk? So here we are. It's crazy. I definitely feel like there's like a little bit of an aftertaste, but it's not anything bad. Like I can kind of just still taste it, but it's not a bad thing. It's just there. It kind of just lingers. Yep. Let me show you my yogurt and my butter. So this is the yogurt. So Linus, my farmer, said that his wife like just made this last night, and you can maybe see in the video. I don't know if you can really tell. It's pretty thick, but it's still pretty liquidy. And he said you can totally like drink it and use it right now. It would just be more of like a thicker or like a thicker milk almost. Like it's just kind of creamy and stuff. But he said give it a day or two and it'll thicken up like a good yogurt and stuff. So he's like, you can definitely eat it now. So I might like taste it and then actually maybe I'll taste it right now. I've got a little bowl for this. So we'll give it a shake maybe. I don't know if you're supposed to really shake it. I guess that's what I'm doing. Oh yeah. It's definitely like creamy. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you could smell this. Oh my gosh. I really like yogurt, like a lot. I've been having a really hard time finding a good like organic yogurt that doesn't have either like added sugars or added seed oils. Like I literally found this organic yogurt before and it had like safflower seed oil or something. Let me get a new paper towel and clean this. I need to figure out something better for the yogurt too. I guess I could use a spoon that's like super clean. Because that's like the thing with raw milk is that you just want to like make sure everything is just very clean. At least from all the YouTube videos I've watched about it. I'm no expert at this point. This is literally my first experience with it. But you just want to be very sanitary, use things that have just been washed. So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. It smells so good. So I don't know if you can tell. So maybe like it is more liquidy, but it's definitely, you could tell it's yogurt. Wow. Now that's good. Wes is going to love this. Alkai's going to love this. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. It is so good. That's awesome. Wow. Okay, here's the butter. You can see it's super, super, super yellow. So one thing I learned a while back when we originally got chickens is the eggs are so different from store-bought, like your regular conventionally grown eggs. And one of the biggest differences in conventional eggs versus pasture-raised, like non-vegetarian fed chickens, because chickens are not vegetarians. They eat everything, literally. One of the biggest differences is that their yolks are like this bright orange, yellow, and almost even kind of have like this like reddish tint to them because they're so nutrient dense from eating a very wide variety of a diet. Like they just eat so much. Like you want them to eat bugs and plants and all the stuff, right? And so when you have a conventionally raised chicken who are eating like a soy-based diet and don't get to be in the fresh air and the sun and all this stuff, their yolks are really muted yellow, sometimes even like a almost whiter tint to them, like with a little bit of yellow in it, and they're really flat. But then really good pasture-raised chicken eggs are really perky. They like keep their form, like when you crack it and just put it into a pan, like the yolk will be just like really springy versus like really flat. And they're bright yellow. And so same thing with the butter from raw milk is just this beautiful bright yellow, and it's hard. So I need to kind of figure out how to use this. It doesn't really have a smell to it. Oh, okay. It does come out really easy. I actually have some tallow in the fridge, and that's like really hard. You kind of like chip it off and stuff. We've been using that for some cooking. I need to learn more about like the raw butter stuff, and like so now I'm like spreading it on this. Like I wonder if it's okay to put this back in there. I don't know. I have to look it up more, and I'm gonna be safe. Wow, I just had some of the butter on my finger. Oh, that's good. Wow. I've been missing out. for so long. It's so good. Also, these biscuits are bomb. They're really good. Anyway, cool. There's a lot of dairy products right now. Well, now you've experienced raw milk for the first time alongside of me. I'm excited to just dive deeper into this journey and make more stuff from it even myself, which will be really cool. And yeah, let me know. Have you tried raw milk yourself? And what are your thoughts? Are you terrified by it? I'm still a little nervous. I'll let you know how it goes later today in my stomach. But I don't think I'll drink much more than this. And in a couple days, I'll let Alakai try some, as long as I have an okay response to it and I don't get sick or anything. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Are you going to try it? Raw milk laws in every state, they're different. And so in Michigan, in order to get raw milk, you have to be a part of a herd share. I think the same goes for Colorado. I just didn't look into it too much in Colorado because I became interested in it right before we were going to leave. And so I know in some states you can actually just buy it directly in your grocery store, which is like so crazy to me. Some states it's completely illegal. Other states you can buy it if you go directly to the farm. You don't have to be a part of a herd share. So I'll drop a link to for you to be able to figure out your raw milk laws in the description of this video, so that way you can check it out. Let me know if you find a farmer and get some really good organic pasture raised raw milk in your area. With that, cheers.